So, hi everybody. My name is Christoph. I'm going to be hosting the Saturday support call today. So, I hope the technology is working for you. I hope you can hear me okay. And there's one hand already. Sharon, can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Hi, good stuff.
Hello.
Hello. I'd like some support, please.
Yes.
I feel I must have like the effects of pollen or something. I think I've had this over the last few years from time to time. I don't like taking antihistamines because I don't like taking medication anyway, but also it just makes me drowsy. But I'm feeling really unwell right now, and I've got a lot of stress going on in my life as well. So I've got stress, tension, headaches. I'm feeling very achy and unwell all over. So just like some releasing around that, please, if you can. Thank you.
Yes. Is there just a sense of feeling drowsy right now?
Yeah, there is a little bit. I've just had a sleep actually I had to sleep for a good hour. So I feel a little bit better, but my
Okay.
body feels really like achy and like little stabby pains. So, and I'd like to enjoy the good weather we're finally getting in England. So, some help releasing it, please.
I think maybe we just do a release on side effects. A group
Okay.
release. Let's check
Okay.
on that. Maybe
All right.
that's some side effect. And please open that a little bit more, that word side effect. Whatever effect there is might be addressed in that release. So we will see how that turns out, and I check back in with you after that group
Okay.
release.
Do you want me to mute myself for now, Christoph?
Yes, I do mute you.
Yeah. Okay.
So in this moment, could you just simply allow yourself whatever memory you have about side effects? Effects that seem to be related to taking some medication or eating some particular food or to doing some things in life or some exercising, or if you're in a room with an air condition, what is there a side effect for you? Something that you want to avoid or something that you think you get from having, being, or doing that. So, and for sharing, that might be medication. So maybe that's something different for you. So in this moment, could you just simply welcome whatever that brings up inside of you, the topic or issue, side effects? Could be also just some reactivity, and it doesn't have to be reactivity of the mind. It can also be reactivity of the body, something that's not seem to be from the mind. So in this moment, could you just simply allow yourself whatever comes to mind or whatever you feel in this moment, if you think about side effects of things in your life that create or cause some side effects that seem to be proved. And then could you just simply welcome or allow for whatever that brings up inside of you? Whatever memory or whatever sensation. And then could you welcome to any wanting to do anything with or about or against this? Any wanting to fix the side effect? Any wanting to get rid of it? Any wanting to figure it out, what to do about it? As well as any underlying wanting for control, approval, security, separation, or oneness that may have been stirred up by that. And then could you welcome or allow to any sense that's personal about you or who you are? That those side effects are belonging to you or who you are. that that reactivity of the body-mind belongs to you or who you are, or that it doesn't belong to you. And then, as best you can, could you just simply let that whole thing dissolve? Could you let that go as best you can? Could that be released? What would be here without side effect, without reactivity? And then let's do this one more time. Could you just simply allow yourself to remember something in your life that's causing something like side effects, some reactivity of the body-mind, something that seems to be proved. If you do this, this will happen. And then could you just simply allow yourself to notice or welcome whatever that brings up inside of you, whatever feeling, thought, memory, doesn't have to be very big, and you don't have to relive it. And then could you welcome to or notice any wanting to do anything with or about or against side effect? Any wanting to get rid of it? Any wanting secretly to have it again? Any wanting to figure it out what to do about it or with it? And then notice if there is any underlying wanting for control, approval, security, separation, or oneness that may be attached to that side effect. And then could you welcome to or notice any sense that the side effect is personal about you or who you are, or other than you, or separate from you? It's not about you. And then could you just notice what would be here without side effect, without reactivity? And as best you can, could you also let go wanting to believe in that side effect or reactivity again, even if it's been proved for so long? And then let's do this process just one more time. Could you just simply allow yourself to welcome up or whatever that brings up inside of you related to side effect, related to reactivity of the body mind? Something that has been stirred up all the time, seemingly or apparently, when something has happened, something in particular has happened. And then could you just simply welcome whatever memory, thought, or feeling that brings up inside of you? And could you welcome or allow to any wanting to do anything with, about, or against the side effect or the issue that's causing it? Any wanting to figure it out, any wanting to have it again, any wanting to avoid it, any wanting to get rid of it, any wanting to fix it. And could you notice if there is, too, any underlying wanting for control, approval, security, separation, or oneness? And then could you just become aware of any sense that this is personal about you or who you are? Side effects or reactivity of the body mind is who you are, or about you or who you are, or isn't about you or who you are. And then could you notice that which would be here without side effect? What would be here without reactivity? What would be actually here now? And then could you also let go of wanting to believe in that particular side effect again as best you can? So, Sharon, can you unmute?
Yeah.
How's
Yeah,
it going?
yeah, it brought up a lot for me because I feel like I'm allergic to everything that's going on in my life right now. I've got a very stressful life and living situation, and there's a lot of stress going on for family around living situations, so I'm quite emotional. But it was interesting to see that as well. I just felt like there was part of holding on to it and also hold it, wanting to get rid of it, and a lot of wanting security and approval came up around that as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just feel like I felt hopelessness in it as well, and sadness.
Mhm.
Um, I don't have anywhere fixed to live, and where I'm staying, there's a communal garden, and the neighbours are really not nice people.
Yes.
I'm staying with my mum. We've been here like 8 years, and the new people have only been here a few years, and there's
Okay.
lots going on. It's really really stressful. It's just nice to be able to get out into the garden while the weather's nice, but
Yes.
there's lots going on. So I realise I'm allergic to the neighbours really,
Yeah.
and everything else that's going on as well. So
So, and how is the now feeling? How do you feel right now? Is there any emotion or is it quiet?
um, I'm feeling like a lot of restriction in the back of my throat and my breath, my breathing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you welcome that sense of restriction?
Yes, I can.
Mhm. And is there any wanting to change it? Any wanting to get rid of the stuckness of the restriction?
Yeah, just wanting to get rid of that emotion and wanting to get rid of my whole living situation. Yeah.
And is there any underlying wanting, Sharon, for control, approval, security, separation, oneness? Or maybe more than one wanting?
Um, Control comes straight to mind, but also it's security. I don't feel safe in this situation.
Mhm. And could you want that as much as you do for a moment? And could you also notice any sense that this belongs to you or who you are? Any sense of identity with that?
Yeah, it feels really personal.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And could
yeah.
you allow it to feel as personal as it does for a second?
It feels personal. One of the neighbours is actually, she's got severe mental health issues and she's really abusive, and she comes out and she shouts really unkind things to me when I've done nothing to the woman. Not just me, there's a couple of others that get it as well, but I seem to get it more than others. So it does feel very personal. I think I'm a little bit feeling
Is there
back.
anyone to protect yourself from that or others?
God, yeah, I am, yeah.
So could you let go wanting security in this case? Just of the wanting and allow yourself to have security instead.
Yes, I can. I'm open to that, yes.
Mm-hmm. And how does it feel now? What's the now emotion?
Oh, well, letting go of wanting and having, instead would be a really empowering place to be, but it feels a little bit
What's
of,
between you and letting go of the wanting and having instead? Is there
yeah,
a block?
it feels like there's a bit of a block. It's like
Yes.
I'm I'm able to have that.
And which wanting is this coming from? A wanting control, approval, security, separation, or oneness?
It comes back to security, not feeling safe.
Mm-hmm. Could you allow yourself to feel as unsafe as you do for now, since it's there already? Notice any wanting to change that, any wanting to get rid.
Yes.
Oh. And then could you also notice the security that's right here, right now? That's unshakable.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it changing?
But yeah, there's more like, well, there's releasing, and yeah, there's
Mhm.
more openness to beingness and that security, that safety. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thanks.
May I leave you that way?
Yes, you can. That's great. Thank you, Christoph. That brought up quite a few awarenesses for me as well. So thank you. Thank you
Surround.
very much. Appreciate it.
Good.
Thanks.
Okay. So, Daniel has a hand up. Can you unmute, please, Daniel?
Yes, hi Christoph.
Hi.
So yeah, I've been lately caught in some emotions, especially fear,
Mm-hmm.
and the fears around not being approved by my parents,
Okay.
and it's coming from childhood. So
Yes.
I've been digging this up
Is there some fear
lately.
right now in this moment? Can you catch the?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Can you allow yourself to welcome that fear feeling
yes,
and any wanting to fix it, change it, get rid of it?
yes. I want
Any
to get
wanting
rid
to
of it.
feel better, to feel courageous?
I would love that. Yes.
And what's between you and feeling courageous towards your parents? What's the blockage? Is there anything that's coming to mind? It doesn't have to make sense, by the way. It can look absolutely without sense, but you can share it with me.
Yes, there's anger. I'm angry about how they behaved towards me.
Some people of us are sometimes angry with our parents.
Yes.
So, is that anger coming from a wanting control, approval, security, separation, oneness, or bringing any of that or those wants?
Yeah, so I want to be separate.
Mm-hmm. And could you allow yourself to want to be separate for a moment?
Yes.
But can you actually be separate? I mean, you can be separate in the word, but can you be that in the truth of who or what you are?
No,
No.
it's not allowed.
That's good. Okay. So how does it feel now? Something changing?
Yes, there's still some anger.
Mm-hmm. Could you hold on?
Can you repeat?
Could you hold on to the anger?
Hold on, yes.
Could you have a little anger party?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
let's do
great.
another question. If there would be zero consequences and no one would ever know, what would you do to your parents physically?
Oh,
You don't have to share. You can have that in your
yes,
mind. You can share if you want.
there's some violence involved, of course.
Yes. Could you allow yourself to be with that violence, or what you would do to them physically, or you would scream at them, or maybe break something apart, or take some weapons and do something with them, or whatever. Have that fantasy for a moment.
Just resistance. I'd like to control
Yes.
the
We
situation.
shouldn't be that. We shouldn't be that way, right?
Yes,
Yes, but it's just a fantasy. It's just designed to help you to release. And then as best you can, could you let go wanting to make that real, that fantasy?
yes, that feels releasing.
Yes. And then could you allow yourself to just open up inside to a better outcome regarding your parents?
Yes,
And this doesn't mean that you have to visit after the call, or that you have to do something. Sometimes it's just quiet.
yeah, there's some peace coming now.
Yes. And could
And
you let that?
acceptance, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Perfect.
It's great.
Good. So then, yeah, I think you know the cleanup procedure.
Yes.
Maybe you can put your parents into a cleanup from time to time. Or do you know the program, The Anger Solution?
No, I haven't heard about that.
It's one of Hale's programs. If you have some money left over and are willing to buy a program of Hale's, it's just one CD. It
Yeah,
shouldn't be that expensive. Maybe it's on the Sedona.com page, still available. So there's a complete program which helps to release the anger emotion.
sounds great.
Yes. But we
Thank
have
you.
another way right now with the question, what would you do to them physically if no one would ever know?
Yeah,
That's also something you can do on your own, and also on other people if that's the case, from time to time.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's bringing up resistance, and I like to let go of that. And that was wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So let's mute. So no hands. Is there any request for a release in this moment? Do you have anything that you want me to release, do a group release on, or any sharing games? Or any questions related to releasing in the Sedona method, or any desire for personal assistance?
Christoph, because I asked for some support
Yes,
on releasing, of maybe a
yes.
group support about releasing your effects to like the false authorities, like the governments, and for me it's housing, and just around something around that where you feel you're a little bit powerless. This is something you could do
Okay,
around this,
okay,
as a group.
okay.
Thank you.
Good, Sharon. So, in this moment, could you just simply allow yourself to welcome up any kind of resistance to groups of society? It might be the government, it might be what they have done to you, or it might be members of your family, or it might be people of the releasing community, or it might be people of your work, it might be friends. So whatever that stirs up inside of you, could you just simply allow yourself to be in touch with that? And then notice that sense of resistance that's coming with it. That resistance is a wanting to control, wanting to get rid of it, or wanting to understand it, or wanting to hold on to it. And is that resistance coming from a wanting control, approval, security, separation, or oneness? And whatever want that is, could you just simply let that wanting go as best you can? Could you have been wanted that enough? Could you allow the desire to dissolve? And notice any sense that's personal about you or who you are, your resistance, the people that are related to a you or your name. Or that cause some effect on you. And then could you just, for now, let go of that resistance? Could you let go wanting to resist that way again? And just open to acceptance, harmony, and the flow? Could you open up to a more positive outcome as best you can? What would be there without those thoughts, without that resistance, without those feelings? So let's check again. Check to see if there are any groups of people of society or community that stir up some resistance inside of you. Might be the government, might be your family, your friends, the releasing community, people at work, your boss. And could you just simply allow yourself to welcome up whatever that brings up inside of you? And you don't have to relive it. You don't have to do anything with that. You just could be aware of it. And then could you welcome too any resistance to that? Any wanting to fix it or change it, get rid of it, understand it, figure it out, improve it? And then notice too any underlying wanting for control, approval, security, separation, or oneness. And then could you let that want go as best as you can? And could you also let go of that sense that's personal about you or who you are? As best you can. And then could you just simply let that whole resistance dissolve? And could you welcome instead acceptance to flow? And what is even beyond that, beyond resistance and acceptance? So let's do this process just one more time. And I open that a little bit more up now. Could you just simply welcome whatever resistance there is to life, or to the flow, or what society is presenting to you? And could you just simply allow yourself to welcome whatever that brings up inside of you? And then notice too, any wanting to hold on to that, any wanting to resist, even any wanting to accept, any wanting to figure it out, any wanting to be done with it, any wanting to change it, any wanting to fix it, any wanting to improve it, even any wanting to prove it for others. And then could you just simply allow yourself to notice any underlying wanting, any wanting control, approval, security, separation, oneness. And then could you just allow yourself to decide that you wanted that enough? Could you also let go of the sense that's being personal about you or who you are? And then, as best you can, could you welcome what's beyond resistance? Could you welcome acceptance, the flow of life? And then just simply ponder this inside. What is beyond resistance and acceptance? And let's change the question a little bit. What is something that you could accept about your life, about community, about society, about people, about family, friends, work, people at work, releasing society, community? And then could you just simply welcome whatever that brings up? And then could you also welcome any wanting to do anything with, about, or against us? Any wanting to resist, accept, hold on to it, figure it out, how to make it last? And then could you notice, welcome to any underlying wanting for control, approval, security, separation, or oneness? And then could you want that as much as you do? And then could you allow it to appear as personal as much as it does? And then could you just simply welcome acceptance to flow? And then could you allow yourself to notice what's beyond resistance and acceptance? Aware to yet unaffected by them. Then could you allow yourself to identify a little bit more as with that? And then could you just simply allow yourself to be? So, Sharon, how are you now?
That was really great, that Christoph. Thank you so much.
Great. You're welcome.
Feeling a lot more spacious, a lot more acceptance come in, and I'm actually feeling slightly better than what I was before the call. So I really appreciate the support there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that hint with that release.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. So we have one more hand. Anne, can you unmute? Oh, maybe I muted you again. Can you please unmute, Anne? Yes, now it's working.
Okay. How about that? Can you hear me now?
Can you speak up a little bit? It's very quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now.
Is it better now? Or
Yes.
okay. So I could like to have some support on the allow myself to feel joy and
Yes.
excitement.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm blocking or somehow it doesn't feel.
Okay. What seems between you and joy or acceptance?
Not sure. If you talk to me, it seems I'm happy, but I just
Yeah.
feel something missing in my life that it doesn't feel joy or doesn't feel appreciate myself.
Yes. And how does it feel right now? Is there a sensation
Mm,
or any
it
wanting?
feel like I have almost like I have a case around my heart.
Yes. And is there any wanting to change that?
Yeah.
And is that wanting to change it coming from a wanting control, approval, security, separation, or oneness?
None of that one. No.
What did you say? Can you say that again?
None of it.
Okay. And what's beyond that? If you dig a little bit deeper.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Um, Not sure. My mind went blank.
Okay, that's good. That's a good sign.
Um, I don't know what I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Like I do want to feel somehow content or joy within me, even though I don't do anything.
And is there no joy right now? No bliss, no joy, no
No,
acceptance?
no,
What is there? Is there any other sensation?
emptiness.
Ah, and isn't that emptiness enough?
Aren't we supposed to feel joyful,
Do
like
you get
happy
to
for no
have?
reason?
Okay. And what's between you and allowing for the emptiness?
Um,
Is there any
so what?
wanting to change emptiness to make it to create a joyful feeling?
So what I'm hearing is that I don't live my life with a purpose. That's why I feel empty.
Isn't that just a conclusion?
Or something I make up, not sure.
There's still any wanting to figure it out?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Is that wanting to figure it out coming from any underlying wanting? Control, approval, security, separation, oneness?
Separation?
Mm-hmm. And could you want to be separate as much as you do?
Yeah. Like, okay, I think it just come up with the fear of, okay, if I'm not doing anything,
Mhm.
not thriving in my life, my life get very boring and I might be dying without doing anything in a slow
Okay.
death.
Isn't that just a belief as well? Or an expectation?
I think that's an expectation
Yes.
because really, you know how often people
Could you
people
let go
often
of
said we
wanting
hear
to
from
expect
victims.
that happening?
Say it again.
Could you let go wanting to expect that happening and open up to a better outcome, to a better solution?
Yeah.
What if the spaciousness or space or silence or emptiness is just a sign of truth, of who or what you are? And what if the joy is just arising from time to time in that which you are? Not needing to be controlled when it's arising. Could that be somehow acceptable?
Yeah, that's somehow acceptable. But did it feel like right now my life is very boring? It's nothing to be joyful or excited about.
Mhm. Are you still expecting that to happen? Or is there any need that to happen from the perspective of the emptiness?
There's a need to change it.
Mhm. And is that coming from any underlying wanting control, approval, security, separation, oneness?
Control, I guess.
Mhm. And if you don't go into the memory or the body mind, can you actually find the one who wanted to control?
Yeah, it's me.
Is there actually me? Or is there just emptiness?
Yeah, but somehow I did like is it almost like I'm not satisfied
Mhm.
with
Okay.
staying emptiness or feeling nothing.
Okay. Why not making up some joy right now? If you have such a desire for joy, why not having a joyful feeling right now? Or do we need to create reason for that joy?
Hmm. No, we don't need a reason for it. But how do you create it then?
Could there be also joy for no reason?
That's what I want. Just how can I feel joyful for no reason?
Are you wanting to figure it out?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And is there any underlying wanting that's coming from? Control, approval, security, separation, oneness?
Just didn't feel any of that suitable.
Mhm.
It's more like feeling is something. So what I'm sensing is that it meets the expectation that I'm working so hard to this point, so I should feel joyful and happy.
Mhm.
But I don't. I just feel very. If I use the word content, it's still good in a way, but I'm not satisfied with that.
Mhm. Could you allow yourself to appear as dissatisfied as much as you do, or not satisfied as much as you do?
Yeah.
And then could you allow yourself to be as satisfied as you are?
Okay. So here are the things. To be joyful and happy, there are things I'm supposed to do. For example, exercise, doing homework,
Isn't that just a
creating
belief as well?
website.
Couldn't there be happiness and joy for no reason?
Ah,
Just for noticing the emptiness, or even beyond that reason?
what I'm struggling with that concept, if I'm just joyful doing nothing,
Mhm.
what the point of my existence?
Are you wanting to figure that out?
Oh yes, of
Are you
course.
wanting to
Like,
give
you know,
sense
we
to
hear people,
life?
no, you hear people say that you here for a reason. You must have a purpose to life. You must have to do something that bring you fulfillment.
What if there is no reason? What if life absolutely doesn't make any sense? Just happening or appearing?
Yeah, let me just have a stand up. I don't want to accept that.
Okay. Could you resist that?
Hmm.
Mhm. I mean, I don't say that there is never a sense in doing something. There might be sense in doing something in order to achieve something. It might be making sense to do something in order to achieve something. But is that equal to a sense of life? Or is it still just happening?
But even not happening, if I'm not doing anything,
Yes,
and I can see that I can see clearly that I'm going in a circle here.
yes.
Just
If you don't do anything, then there's nothing happening from this particular mind. But life is still happening around you, isn't it?
yeah, but that means I alive life happening to me instead of I'm creating a life for myself,
Mm-hmm.
creating joy for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. Okay, it doesn't make I don't make any sense.
So what?
So why am I resisting to create?
I don't know. We can check into that. So what's between you and creating the life that you want? That feels good for you, that seems to be appropriate, or even to make sense.
What's standing in the way?
Mm-hmm.
Fear of being busy and
Okay.
fear of being seen.
Okay. Could you allow yourself to be in touch with that fear? Could you allow it to be here?
Okay.
And is there any wanting to change that or get rid of that?
I can see the emotion come up. I just
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there any wanting to change that?
Yes.
Any wanting to feel different? Any wanting security or control or any other wanting?
There's a wanting of having motivation to do things,
Mm-hmm.
to create.
Mm-hmm.
And almost like I don't have the motivation. It's almost like I'm feeling I'm losing control of myself.
Okay. And is there any wanting control, approval, security, separation, oneness attached to that?
Control?
Mm-hmm. Would you want to control that as much as you do?
Yes.
Did you also notice any sense that's personal about you or who you are?
Hmm. Okay. Is it control and discipline is on the same line?
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with discipline.
And why can't I discipline myself to do things?
I don't
And
know.
why I'm not when I'm not disciplined, I'm losing control of myself.
Are you actually losing control of yourself when you don't discipline yourself? Do you have to become crazy because you don't discipline yourself?
And that I'm not going crazy. It just seems like I'm wasting my life for not doing things, but then I don't have the motivation of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see that I'm very contradicting myself, just saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going crazy. And I'm like, what's wrong with me?
Nothing. Is there a me to be wrong with itself? Also just an appearance?
It's just appearing.
What's there in actuality beyond the memory?
Can you explain that to me a bit more?
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like I don't understand your question.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel now? Is there anything or is it quiet?
I think the mind is quiet, but there's a sense of dissatisfaction.
Is there any wanting to do anything with or about or against us?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And is that coming from a wanting control, approval, security, separation, oneness?
The funny thing is I want to have approval of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I
Could
need to do that?
Could you give yourself some approval rather than wanting it from yourself?
Okay.
Could you approve of yourself for no reason?
For just doing nothing?
For whatever reason or for no reason?
Okay.
How does that feel now?
It now it more like come up like if I'm approve of myself doing nothing, so that means I might losing security.
But isn't that just a conclusion as well?
Yes.
Mhm. Could you let go wanting to believe that again and open to a more positive outcome? To a better solution? And to
Okay.
a more neutral outcome?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be seen right now. It can just be the sense of emptiness.
Okay.
Can show up whenever it's required to show up.
Okay.
Mhm. Are you okay for now, Pam?
Yeah, just right now I just feel nothing. So I don't even know, am I releasing? Am I still stuck? Just let myself be.
Just enjoy also when there's nothing.
Okay.
And the joy will come up whenever it's ready to come up. It's not gone forever. It comes again. But it's an experience. It's coming and going.
Okay.
What you are is always there. So maybe you just see the difference between the joy and what you are, that the joy is just an experience.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Anne, for
Thank
being
you.
on. Good, everybody. Our hour is already done. So thank you, everybody, for being in the call. It was a nice group. Nice to work with you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christoph,
Bye.
everyone.
See you
Thank
next
you.
week if you
Yeah.
have time.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.